Every legendary pirate crew changed history. Roger had the Dark King. Whitebeard built a family. Luffy has the Straw Hats. Even Rocksteady Xebec united pirates who would later rule the seas. But none of those crews were perfect. Some relied on loyalty. Others relied on fate. Today, we're ignoring both. What happens if we forget existing loyalties, ignore historical rivalries, and throw out plot armor entirely? What if we built the single strongest pirate crew in One Piece history from absolute scratch? One objective guides every decision, selecting the individual best suited for each role, creating a crew so powerful that even the world government would think twice before declaring war. Our journey begins with the foundation of every legendary voyage. Not the captain, not the swordsman, the ship. No pirate becomes king of the pirates without surviving the Grand Line. And no crew survives without a ship capable of enduring everything the New World throws at it. 3 legendary ships stand above the rest: Roger's Oro Jackson, Big Mom's Queen Mama Chanter, and the Straw Hat's Thousand Sunny. At first glance, the Oro Jackson seems almost impossible to beat. It carried the Pirate King to Laugh Tale and was built from the legendary Treasure Tree Atom, making it one of the toughest ships ever constructed. Then there's the Queen Mama Chanter. Its sheer size and homey abilities make it a terrifying vessel, but much of its power depends on Big Mom's Soul Fruit. Without her, it loses what makes it truly unique. That leaves the Thousand Sunny. Like the Oro Jackson, it's built from atom wood, but thanks to Frankie's engineering, it goes even further. From the soldier dock system and the gong cannon to the coup de burst, the Sunny isn't just durable, it's built to adapt. And in the unpredictable waters of the New World, adaptability is survival. The Thousand Sunny takes the dock. A masterwork ship is completely useless without an elite navigator to tame the New World's unpredictable storms. One wrong decision in a climate anomaly, and even the strongest crew in existence disappears beneath the waves forever. Nami instantly comes to mind, having guided the Straw Hats through impossible weather, sea kings, and cataclysmic seas time and time again. Red Hair veteran Building Snake brings decades of New World navigation experience. However, my choice falls on Blackbeard's most mysterious officer, Lafitte. Trusted by Marshal D. Teach to guide one of the most dangerous pirate crews on the seas, Lafitte infiltrated Marine headquarters completely undetected and possesses the ability to fly through his mysterious devil fruit. While Nami may edge him out in pure weather prediction, Lafitte brings something this crew values even more: stealth, strategy, and the ability to navigate where no one expects him. Lafitte becomes our navigator. Navigating danger is one thing. Steering through absolute chaos is another. When giant homey waves threaten to capsize the ship or an admiral's fleet closes in, the crew puts their faith in one person: the helmsman. Jinbei seems like the obvious choice after guiding the Thousand Sunny through Big Mom's devastating tsunami with unmatched fishman skill. Then there's Jesus Burgess. His overwhelming strength is undeniable, but steering a ship has never been about brute force. It demands precision, experience, and absolute composure under pressure. Enter Shiki the Golden Lion. Most remember him as one of Roger's greatest rivals. But before that, he was the helmsman and fleet commander of his own massive armada. For decades, Shiki ruled the seas, commanding countless ships while leading from the front. He even fought Garp and Sengoku at Marineford, cementing his place among the greatest pirates of his era. When it comes to commanding a ship through the chaos of the New World, no one has more experience. Shiki takes the helm. In the brutal gauntlet of the New World, structural damage is inevitable. A shattered mast, a cracked hull, or devastating artillery fire, without the right shipwright, even the strongest pirate crew eventually sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Candidates are surprisingly scarce throughout pirate history, but one man stands far above the rest: Frankie. He didn't just build a ship. He engineered a masterpiece capable of carrying the future Pirate King. Built from the legendary atom wood and packed with inventions decades ahead of its time, The Thousand Sunny is more than a ship. It's a floating fortress. But Frankie's value doesn't end with engineering. He's also a frontline powerhouse, a cyborg armed with heavy artillery, radical beam technology, and the durability to stand against some of the new world's strongest fighters. Choosing anyone else doesn't make this crew stronger. It only makes it weaker. Frankie becomes our Shipwright. The brutal battles ahead will leave devastating scars, requiring a doctor capable of performing miracles on the battlefield. Tony Chopper possesses brilliant medical knowledge, but against the monsters of the new world, he lacks the frontline presence this crew demands. Then there's Marco the Phoenix. His mythical Zoan flames allow him to heal himself and his allies in the middle of battle, making him one of the greatest combat medics in the world. But one power changes the conversation entirely. The Ope no Mi. Trafalgar D. Waterlaw can perform surgeries inside his room that completely rewrite the rules of medicine. He can remove organs without killing his patient, save allies from certain death, and teleport them out of danger in an instant. Marco may be the better battlefield healer, but if the survival of the strongest pirate crew in history depends on one doctor, I'm trusting the Surgeon of Death. Trafalgar Law becomes our doctor. The voyage demands someone capable of uncovering the world's greatest secret and deciphering the hidden history of the Void Century. Naturally, Nico Robin is the first name that comes to mind. The sole survivor of O'Hara, she remains the world government's ultimate target because of her unique ability to read the poneglyphs. For almost any pirate crew, Robin would be the perfect choice. But we're not building just any pirate crew. We're building the greatest crew ever assembled. Which brings us to Kozuki Oden. Powerful enough to scar Kaido and earn the respect of both Whitebeard and Roger, Oden has already accomplished what every pirate dreams of. He reached Laugh-Tale, he read the poneglyphs, and he witnessed the world's true history with his own eyes. Robin possesses the knowledge. Oden possesses the knowledge and the experience. For a crew determined to conquer the Grand Line, that's a difference I can't ignore. Kozuki Oden becomes our archaeologist. Weeks of life at sea demand more than just strength. A great cook keeps a crew alive, healthy, and ready for whatever the Grand Line throws at them. Streisand built the culinary foundation of the Big Mom Pirates, while Lucky Roo has spent decades serving alongside one of the strongest pirate crews in history. But one chef stands above them all. Vinsmoke Sanji. To Sanji, cooking isn't just a profession, it's a promise. No matter how scarce the ingredients or how harsh the conditions, he'll always find a way to feed his crew. But what truly separates him from every other chef is what happens after the meal. Unlike traditional cooks, Sanji is one of the strongest fighters on the seas. With his awakened Germa exoskeleton, incredible speed, and Ifrit Janbei, he can prepare a 5-star meal, then walk onto the battlefield and defeat a Yonko commander. For the strongest pirate crew in history, there's no better choice. Sanji becomes our cook. When long-range threats appear on the horizon, battles are often decided before the enemy ever gets within striking distance. The sniper. Naturally, Usopp is the first name that comes to mind. From Dressrosa to Wano, he's repeatedly proven that a single, well-placed shot can change the course of an entire battle. His observation haki and unmatched precision have earned him the title of God Usopp. Then there's Aizo, whose incredible speed and dual pistol mastery made him one of Whitebeard's most reliable commanders. And Van Augur, who transformed long-range combat with the Warp Fruit, allowing him to reposition and strike from virtually anywhere on the battlefield. For a moment, Van Augur seems like the obvious choice. But then there's Yasopp, a man personally chosen by Shanks to stand among the officers of the Red Hair Pirates. For decades, he sailed with one of the most powerful haki-based crews in history, earning a reputation as one of the greatest marksmen on the seas. His accuracy is legendary, and when the shot matters most, there's no one I'd trust more to pull the trigger. Yasopp becomes our sniper. Life aboard a pirate ship isn't all battles and adventure. Weeks can pass with nothing but endless ocean. That's when a musician becomes more than entertainment. They become the crew's spirit. Naturally, Brook is the first name that comes to mind. His music has lifted the Straw Hats through their darkest moments, and his experience as both a musician and a swordsman makes him an invaluable crewmate. Then there's Scratchmanapoo, whose devil fruit turns music itself into a weapon capable of devastating his enemies. But my choice is someone far more mysterious. Bonk Punch. As one of Shanks' senior officers, he earned a place aboard one of the most balanced and respected pirate crews in history. We know very little about his true abilities, but perhaps that's exactly what makes him so intriguing. If a pirate can stand among Shanks' strongest officers for decades, he's clearly doing something right. Bonk Punch becomes our musician. Every legendary pirate crew has something unforgettable. Not another fighter, but a symbol, a companion that turns heads the moment it appears on the horizon. A giant kraken brings unmatched destruction beneath the waves, while a boon offers a bond no pirate could ever replace. But there's one creature that exists on an entirely different scale. Zunatia, an ancient giant that has wandered the seas for centuries, carrying an entire civilization on its back. With a single swing of its trunk, it can wipe out entire fleets. Its sheer size alone is enough to change the course of a battle. No pirate crew in history has ever sailed beside a force like this. Zunatia becomes our companion. Now we arrive at the most important decision of them all. The captain. This is no longer just another pirate crew. It's a collection of legends, which means the captain can't simply be the strongest. He must be someone capable of leading monsters who could each command a crew of their own. Naturally, a few names immediately come to mind. Luffy, the future pirate king whose greatest strength has always been his ability to inspire absolute loyalty. Blackbeard, a mastermind who built one of the most dangerous pirate crews in history by stealing the world's strongest devil fruits. Shanks, the only Yonko whose crew is feared almost entirely for the strength of its officers. And finally, Goldie Roger, the Pirate King, the only man confirmed to have conquered the Grand Line and reached Laugh Tale. For almost any pirate crew, Roger would be the obvious choice. But not this one, because there was one pirate so dangerous that Roger couldn't defeat him alone. At God Valley, Roger and Monkey D. Garp fought side by side against a single man, Rox D. Zebek, the captain who once commanded Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shiki beneath a single flag. Think about that for a moment. Pirates who would go on to become legends all followed one man. If anyone possessed the charisma, the ambition, and the authority to command the greatest pirate crew ever assembled, it was Rox D. Zebek. Rox D. Zebek becomes our captain. Every legendary captain needs someone standing beside them, someone capable of leading the crew when the captain can't. The vice captain. The competition for this role is just as fierce. King brings unmatched Lunarian durability and unwavering loyalty. Roronoa Zoro is a conqueror destined to become the world's strongest swordsman. Ben Beckman is feared not only for his strength, but also for his intelligence, earning the complete trust of Shanks. And finally, Silvers Rayleigh, the Dark King, the right-hand man of the Pirate King himself. Even in old age, he could stand toe-to-toe with an admiral. For almost every pirate crew, Rayleigh would be the obvious choice. But not this one, because there is one man who has already stood beside the captain we just chose. Edward Newgate. Before he became the world's strongest man, he sailed under Rox D. Zebek. No one understands the burden of standing beside a monster like Rox better than the man who already did it. Strength, leadership, experience. Everything you'd want in a second in command. With all due respect to the Dark King, our vice captain is Edward Newgate, the man the world came to know as Whitebeard. The Thousand Sunny. guided by Lafitte, steered by Shiki, built by Frankie, healed by Law, fed by Sanji, armed by Yasopp, inspired by Bonk Punch, carrying the wisdom of Odin, and the strength of Zunisha itself. Beside them stood the strongest man in the world, Edward Newgate. The pirate history would remember as Whitebeard. And at the very front, the man who united monsters, Rox D. Zebek. This may be the strongest pirate crew in One Piece history. But what do you think? Could anyone in history defeat this crew? Or would you change a single member?